Hello and welcome to the first episode of the new year. I hope you all had a wonderful time over the winter holidays and the New Year celebrations, if you celebrate that kind of thing. I did, and I'm absolutely delighted to be back at work after all of that fun and frivolity. But needs must. We have to go back to work eventually. But yeah, I do miss the days of drinking heavily every single day. Anyway, right, so today is a recap of the best books I've read over the preceding year of 2022. I know a lot of YouTubers that do book reviews. They tend to do the top 10 books they've read this year. Unfortunately, I've only read 14, and one of them is my own book. Get out of here! But please buy it if you wish, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'll just tell you all the books that I've read, and then I'm going to tell you my least favourite, the one that I'm going to elbow out the way, and the top 3. So let's just get them out, no particular order. So first off, it was The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler. So there's the first one. The next one was Clive Barker's omnibus of his Books of Blood. So this is books 4 to 6. That was quite nice. Horror stories. I should probably say what each one's about, really, shouldn't I? Anyway, we'll carry on. The next one is Joyland by Stephen King. This is the first Stephen King I'm mentioning here, but there will be others. I read quite a few this year. Joyland is it's kind of a murder mystery, I suppose, set in an old style amusement park. Next is Kazuo Ishiguro's Klara and the Sun. Looking through the eyes of an artificial intelligence, an android girl, I suppose you would say, called Klara. That was very interesting indeed. Next we've got Therapy by Sebastian Fitzek. Another kind of crime, Scandi noir kind of style thing. I didn't review this book on my channel, but I read it anyway. Next comes Gulliver's Travels. Now this is the Ladybird edition that I had as a child, and I bought a copy on eBay this year. But I read the unabridged version from the late 1700s, and it was hard going, but it's still a wonderful story. Okay, the next one is The Animals in That Country by Laura Jean McKay. Now, if you'll remember, this was the one about a kind of virus. It was a virus infection that allowed humans to be able to talk and understand animals. So there's that one. The next one is the first of the Dark Tower books by Stephen King, The Gunslinger. Really enjoyed that one. Okay, and that was followed swiftly by the second one, The Drawing of the Free. Yet another Stephen King book. And yes, there's another one on the way. This was under his other pen name of Richard Bachman. The Regulators. So he released 2 in the same year, 1991 I think it was. So that was The Regulators. And at the same time, under his actual name, Stephen King, we have Desperation. Now, both of these are set in parallel universes dealing with the evil god of Tack, and a small band of people trying to thwart him, if you will. And one more Stephen King, just for good luck. This is Skeleton Crew, which is a collection of short stories from the 80s. A veritable bonanza of wonderful stories in that one. Some not so good, but there we are. And last but not least, we had China Miéville's Perdido Street Station. Perdido, who knows how you pronounce it? I don't know, and I don't care. I think I pronounced it Perdido when I was reading it in Minoggin. But who cares? It's up to you how you pronounce that place. Anyway, yeah, that was quite a long, sprawling steampunk novel about an infestation of these killer moth things. Slake moths, they were called. Anyway, I reviewed that one. I reviewed a lot of these on my channel, so if you want to look at any of them, please do go back and have a little gander. So the first thing to do is I'm going to pick the book that was least pleasant to me. And this one I actually gave 2 out of 5 in its rating. That's the lowest I gave this year for a book. It wasn't terrible, but it's bad enough. And it's The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler. Now, the problem with this, it was a kind of Scandi noir. I think it would come under that umbrella, crime novel. Now, in a nutshell, I felt that the bits that were included all the way through, that were kind of teasing you as to what might be going on, they were more interesting than the thing that actually happened, if you know what I mean. And the hypnotist, who's the central character, the hypnotism part of it was bloody ludicrous, I thought. I was hoping that the hypnotist would be the murderer. Let's put it that way. Spoiler alert. Anyway, let's elbow that one out of the way. Get out of here. Right, so that was the worst one. Terrible book, in my opinion. But these are only my opinions, so don't worry. So let's finish with the top 3. So, what is the third one? Well, it's going to be Stephen King, but up you come. It's Skeleton Crew. So the only thing that this would have been higher in my opinion, I suppose, if all of the stories were of a similar quality, but there are absolute gems in this collection, as I did in my review. The Jaunt is a particularly harrowing one. That's really worth a look. If you've never read Stephen King before, it's a good place to start. His short stories are excellent, absolutely excellent. Okay, so number 2, what will it be? No, this is right. Okay, it's Kazuo Ishiguro's Klara and the Sun. I absolutely loved this one. Quite a subtle story. After reading so much Stephen King, this one is a lot lighter, but a lot more thought-provoking, shall we say. Very well written. I love Kazuo Ishiguro's writing style. It's very simple. It's such a hard thing to do, write in such a simple way, but convey such interesting and quite thought-provoking ideas. It was a brilliant book. I think I gave that 4 out of 5. But I only gave one book this year 5 out of 5, and I've yet to review it. I was going to do it at the end of the year, and I wasn't very well, so I'm going to do it this month at some point. But it is... It's The Dark Tower, the second book, The Drawing of the Free. I'm going to review this in more depth later on, but I just want to say now that I thought this was a brilliant book. So the first one is it's quite short, and there's lots of things going on. A great big chocolate box of all different ideas and adventures and suggestions of what's happened in the past, what might be happening now. The third one certainly focuses the attention more. It's more of a generous meal as opposed to a chocolate box. Excellent character building. Unbelievable. It's one of the... I never get emotional when I'm reading books. Very, very rarely. I know I see online there's people that read books and they're always in tears. I never get that. Never. But this one, I didn't shed a tear, but I had to put the book down for a moment because something happened with one of the characters and it just really touched me. And that's a special thing. That's a special moment. It doesn't happen to me very often. But I had it with this book. Absolutely brilliant. I'm currently reading the third book, The Wasteland, now, and I'll review that as well at some other point. But anyway, there we are. That's today's episode in a nutshell. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please follow me, or subscribe if you wish, whatever you like. Anyway, I'll be back soon with some other videos, maybe. I've got a load of new books for Christmas, so I'll be talking about those in another one. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you and cheerio. Cheerio.